Hi, everybody. We're back. Um, Thank you all for being here. Thanks, y'all. Hope y'all had a wonderful weekend. Yay. And so we can get into it. And at the end, hopefully, I can show you what we made from our last time together. But just for the sake of hopefully things not freezing up, I'll save it until after everything's finished. All right. So we're going to talk about friends today. Friends. So I have a concept for this. I'm hoping it'll work out. This is my first time actually trying to do a concept with art like this. So we're gonna see how this goes, okay? But before that, let me know how you're doing, how your weekend has been. I know last week was crazy. The end of the week was crazy. And speaking of friends, some of my friends' week is starting off nightmarishly. So yeah. But yeah, let me know how you're doing. Let me know where you're from. I usually have my little banner going. But yeah, as you can hear, there's music playing. I hope you all can hear it. Let me know if everything sounds okay, and we can get started. All right. So friends, I wanted to talk about something else today, but I really feel like it's important that we discuss friendship. Last week was one of my best friend's birthday. He turned 31, Marcus. If you were here for the music, then you got to celebrate him with us while we were there. And so that was fun. And, I realized me and Marcus have been friends since we were 12. That's the age I think you go into middle school. Since we were 12. And I'm like, dang, that's been a long time. And I'm so grateful for that friendship. I'm so grateful for him. I'm so grateful that our paths crossed, and not star crossed, but our paths crossed in middle school. And I'm glad that, we're still friends, best friends from that point. And I was having a conversation with one of my other best friends, Marquita. She's been here before. And she was saying that, not everybody has friends like ours, right? So we have a crew, we call ourselves the crew. And it's really just a group of us that went to high school together or middle school together, or a combination of both. And so we all hang out, we all, commune and stuff like that. And of course, during COVID, it's been hard to commune with everybody. But our friendship is still going strong. And, the reason why I bring that up is because a lot of people are like, I don't have friends from... Hi, everybody. Sorry. So everybody's so some people are like, I don't have friends from middle school or high school. But hold on one second. I got to shout you guys out for being here. Hi, Crystal. Hi, Jay. Yeah. Thank you. Yay. And you're from Jacksonville, Florida, and scared to death. I'm praying for you. I am praying for you. I'm praying for a lot of us out there, okay? Please try to stay as safe as you can. Yeah, I'm praying for you. So a lot of people have had friendships, that have come and gone, friendships that, are for a season, which is fine. But sadly for some of us, we've had friendships that have been kind of traumatic, right? That have been heartbreaking. And I'm sure you all have experienced this. I feel like anyone alive has experienced that. And I've said this before, I feel like, and some of my friends have shared the same sentiment, is heartbreak from friends is sometimes worse than heartbreaks from lovers, And I know that sounds crazy, but no, having your heart broken by a friend is like a sister betraying you, literally a sister betraying you. You all are blood. You all are trusting of each other's hearts, more so than that of a romantic relationship. You know what I'm saying? No digs to my husband or anything, but there are some, women I'm in relationship with where if they hurt me, it would cut deeper. You know what I'm saying? And Is that healthy? I don't know. But that is just it's just the truth. When you give someone your heart, it doesn't matter if it's platonic or romantic. There's some sort of trust there, right? Like there's some sort of what is the word? It's like you go into, it's like a covenant. Even though it sounds, I know covenant is kind of reserved for marriage, but I feel like even in friendships, we go into covenants with people. Like we agree to be there for one another. We agree to be loving of one another, supportive, whatever it is, right? And so then when and if, let me actually go this way. When and if that covenant is broken, it shatters everything. It shatters the trust. It shatters, even like self-esteem. Like you're like, dang, what's wrong with me? You know what I'm saying? Like, why wasn't I enough for this person to love me like they said they did? Like, what happened? And so for me, let me know if you've been hurt like that too. Like, I don't know, just the betrayal of a friend, especially someone who you call sister, is like, ouch. Like, there's no pain in my mind like it. And it's almost like it's like your chosen family, like someone you choose to be in relationship with, right? And from my own experience, I've had some trash experience with friends. Friends that were in my wedding, friends that like I thought would be in my life forever. You know what I'm saying? And it makes me sad because I got to look at, my wedding photos, which was supposed to be like a lovely day. And it was beautiful. But there's always going to be that taint of that friend who betrayed me and who hurt me and who left me. You know what I'm saying? And I almost wish I never asked them to be in my wedding. Like I almost wish that we never met. You know what I'm saying? To absolve the chance of us being heartbroken, or really just me being heartbroken ever. And I know that sounds crazy. Yes, Crystal, you feel me. Like, I know that sounds crazy, but like, it really, it's a pain that takes years to heal, especially if your relationship has been like years long. And not a lot of people talk about this. Like, it's like, oh, all these songs and these stories about like romances and how they've been destroyed and all that good stuff. But nobody talks about like friends and how horrible those things can end too. Crystal says, I recently cut off a friend who was my lifelong friend in wedding, sisters, tattoos, all that. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Oh, I feel you. I do. I'm really sorry about that. It's painful. Like, it's painful again. Like, you think you're going to be in a relationship with these people for the rest of your lives, and then they just turn out, I don't really know what happens, for a lot of people, but it just, sometimes friends can just like turn on you one day, which is like, and usually it's over something minor and small. But the thing about friends though, is that if they do want to wish you harm, they have all the ammo that they need to do so, right? Like they know your secrets. They know what makes you tick. They know what you're insecure about. And so there's nothing wrong with knowing that about a person when they can be trusted, right? But like, and I don't mean to sound anti-friends because I'm very for friends, right? But I have solid friendships in my life. But at the same time, for the people who aren't so solid or, trustworthy, they can use those secrets against you, those things that like, and they don't even have to be secrets. They can just be treasured places and tender places to really hurt you and destroy you. And so, for me, something like that happened. It happened multiple times. I'm just being honest. It was with the same group of people. And just one by one, they just started acting crazy. Like, there's really no, like, some of my other friends know, like, what happened. But it's just like, there really was no explanation for what went wrong. Like, there was, like, jealousy involved and bitterness. And to be fair, like, these people were going through their own things. And so, like, the friend I had been to them, they were unable to be for me, which isn't necessarily, like, heartbreaking in itself. But I think because they were not able to be that for me, they saw me as like toxic and like to be transparent. I struggle with depression, and so some of my at that time sisters were telling me that I'm depressed because my relationship with God is compromised, that I shouldn't need therapy and counseling because I feel I'm a lot better about it now because I used to get so mad. I used to get so mad when I talked about this. But yeah, like they used to tell me that like, oh, if I'm depressed, then something's wrong with me. Something is awry because there's no way that you can be in Christ and be depressed, right? And it's like, says who? Have you read the Bible lately? Like, again, have you read Psalm? Like, have you read what David was going through? How he's like in caves crying out to God and saying, hey God, life sucks. You feel me? Jesus, even though it doesn't say blatantly that he was depressed, a man of many sorrows, right? Like, I don't doubt that Jesus was depressed. And so I had these, people, this Christian crew of friends telling me that like, no, Alecia, it's you. There's something wrong with you. You shouldn't need counseling. God is your counselor. And at some point, it's like, enough, right? Enough. I'm already going through my thing, and I don't need you to tell me this. I know something's wrong with me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know I need help. But these people that I walk through in life, they really betrayed me. They broke my heart. They left me. They abandoned me. And a lot of them did it in ways that really just broke me. In the year, was it 2015, 2016? I was really brokenhearted. Oh, Vanessa said some friends are fake though. That's true. It's true and it's sad and it's a hard lesson to learn. And says, and that's why I don't have time for the fake friends. I had to cut off someone because she thought I was jealous of her. But why would I be jealous? You don't have nothing. Oh, Vanessa. No. I mean, I hear you. I hear you for sure. What I found though is like some people who are jealous, like they're dealing with their own stuff, right? Like some stuff it has nothing to do with you, like really. And I know that's, and in the moment it's like, it has everything to do with me because they're attacking me, right? But really, it really has nothing to do with you and more about like their process. And like, I can see that now from a lot of those people that I was dealing with now that I've stepped away. But that doesn't mean that we need to be friends anymore, right? Like that doesn't mean that they're my people. And I think I'm just getting to this point, and it's still a sore spot for sure. But yeah, at the time, like you couldn't tell me anything. Like I suffer from abandonment issues anyway. And so like being abandoned really re-triggered those things. And they knew that, right? They knew that. And so they would do things literally to spite me and to hurt me on purpose. And so these are the grade of people I'm talking about that I thought were my friends, right? Talking like one of my friends didn't talk to me for 3 months and then popped up out of nowhere. And I had processed, I had grieved the relationship, I had moved on. And she popped up and was like, hey, I really value our friendship. I want to meet up and talk to you because I really want us to fight for our relationship. And I'm like, I've been here fighting. You know what I'm saying? I've been here. And I was messaging her. I was like, hey, are you good? Because at the time I didn't know I had been ghosted. And so stupid me. So I was reaching out to her to make sure she was all right and to see if she was okay. And then I guess at some point I realized, oh, she's just ignoring me. So I just started moving on. And we met up. And in that instant, first of all, she was late. She wasn't apologetic about being late, which is fine because she was also a mother. So to me, it was like, okay, stuff happened. But I realized later that it was on purpose. And so, again, this is a woman who like served in my wedding, like literally, and I and hers. And so she was basically telling me that I had two options. Either I could be her acquaintance. Like she was giving me ultimatums after she ghosted me for 3 months, right? I could be her acquaintance or like, we don't have to be friends at all. And I told her, I said, I don't want to be your acquaintance. Like, I'm moving on. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't come in here and give me ultimatums. Either way, she didn't like that very much. It didn't go well. And so, then there's this whole crew of people who just hate me, which is like, okay, But the whole point of me saying this is that like from that group of people came a project that I put out. It was a music project. And it was called Matter. And some of the songs on Matter were really just me venting. Like one of the songs in there was called, can't even think of the name of my own songs. One of the songs was called Whatever You Like. And it was a take on, T.I.'s song that's like, something, na, you can have whatever you like, whatever. However that song goes. So I took that and I made it into my own, version, and it was something I was just playing with, and like the words were premium cut, your favorite slice, It might be my life, but baby, you can have whatever you like, right? Because this group of people really just treated me like I was nothing, but then wanted to use me like for everything, which was like, which one is it, you know? Or the ones who stand by and watch you be bullied and don't say anything about it, but then claim that they love you. It's like, how do you love me? How is that love? If you see someone you love being hurt in the street, you're going to say something, right? Anyway, I digress. So I made this EP because I was just venting my feelings. And, you know, and I also wrote a poetry book that goes with it. It's a long story just to get this point. But, oh, sorry, I have another. Marquita says, oh, that wasn't a Christian crew. That was a Christian coup. I'm sorry, that tickled me. I don't know why I didn't get it until I got to the thing. To the end. That's funny. But yes. Vanessa says, it does hurt when you lose your friends. It does. But people were never your friends in the first place. And I realized this at this point, 6, 7, 8 years later. So I was already invested in the relationship. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's the thing, like, to me, when I say I'm in a relationship with people, like, I mean it. Like, it means that we're not always going to be happy with each other, right? Like, when you're in a relationship with even a significant other, there are times when you're annoyed with them. You know, it's just natural. When you're in a relationship with your friends, sometimes they might have quirks or little things about them that you might not like, or they have positions on stuff that you don't agree with. It's like maturity is like understanding those differences and still being able to respect that person and still love them, because you're not loving them because you all are the same. You know what I mean? And for me, like, when I say I love someone, I mean that. I mean that wholeheartedly. I mean that with everything in me. And much like you, Crystal, when you were saying that you got matching tattoos, like, just like when you think about like the promises that you may have made with people, like the covenants you may have made with people, right? Like, that stuff means something. That stuff is bonding. Like, you're not just going to get tattooed for somebody you don't care about. You know what I mean? Like, that's a forever thing. So when you walk into these friendships, sometimes we walk into friendships like feeling like this is going to be forever because this is my person and they get me, like, right? And then something happens and it could be something silly or traumatic or abusive, like low-key abusive. And you got to X yourself out of the situation. You know what I mean? Marquita's here, and Marquita, I was listening to an interview that we did for Black Girl Creative, which I'm going to be releasing soon, so get ready for that. But you said that the end of relationships don't have to be messy. They don't have to be painful. Like, sometimes people just, like, you know, drift away. Sometimes people just grow apart. Like, it is what it is, right? But when stuff happens that, like, kind of rocks your world, that's like when it's time to like reassess even being in a relationship with them at all. You know what I mean? All right, so this is the first one. So I have 3 pictures, and I'm trying to like try something new. So, you know. Deborah says, hi, Deborah. Deborah says, at age 63, I've got a double album of heartbreak caused by friends. I'm so sorry. I'm really sorry about that. It's painful. It's painful for sure. And Vanessa says, yes, I totally agree. Yeah. But you go through life and you think you'll be in a relationship with these people for forever, and they'll outlast the boyfriends and they'll outlast the flings and all this other stuff, right? These silly things. And you don't think that it's silly because these are people, again, that you care about. People that you would go like to the ends of the earth for. Like, these people that I'm talking about, like, I love them so much. Like, so much. When I called them my sister, when I called them my friend, that meant something to me. And I think what broke my heart more than anything was like, those words didn't mean anything to them. You know what I'm saying? And then you wonder, like, well, for how long did I not mean anything to you? And I know that sounds romantic, but it's like, again, it's deeper than that because it's about friendship. It's about sisterhood. It's about, like, again, chosen family. And so, you know, that horrible situation really gave me, I needed an outlet. I needed to do something with this pain. I needed to feel like it wasn't for anything. I needed to, like, so I journaled, and from that came poetry, from that came music. From that came like me just venting to other friends, you know, and you ask yourself, it's like, was it me? You know what I'm saying? Like, what did I do wrong? Like, that's the immediate thought. What did I do wrong? Why wasn't I good enough for them to stick around for? Why? You know, why? And, you know, my friends didn't have answers, you know, and I didn't really expect them to, I don't think. But I think, if anything, going to my real friends really showed me, like, it ain't all bad. And I know that I'm not all good either, right? Like, I know I have things I could work on, just as an individual. But, like, my friends reinforced this idea that I didn't deserve what happened to me. And so, through writing the songs, through writing the poetry, through talking through it, through going to therapy, okay? Because it's not like it happened, like one person and that was it. You know what I'm saying? Like, there were a lot of hands in all of this. And for a while, I just felt like I was being attacked on, like, every side. And not to, like, super Christianize it. I really felt like I was being, like, I felt like I was under attack. Like, I felt like I was under attack and I needed help. And so art is usually my go-to. So I wrote this again, this collection of poetry. You can still listen to it. It's on Spotify and stuff. You can get it if you want. And it was really just a process of me going from heartbreak, like someone walking away from you, to, like, at the end, God reminding you that, like, you're not who they say you are, right? You're not who these small group of people say you are compared to me, your creator, who I say you are. And then also, like, you have 10 other people, more than that, but still, like, 10 other people who love you, who care about you. So, like, friends, family, cousins, whatever, like, their family. I don't know why I said that, but people who really care about you and see you for who you really are. I think the problem for me was that people were seeing me as this broken, hopeless person because I struggle with depression. And I think because I wasn't ashamed of that, like, they tried to make me ashamed of that. And I wasn't ashamed of that because I'm like, this is something I deal with on a daily basis. You know what I'm saying? And I know that at some point I wasn't depressed, right? I know that at some point, and I know that things happened in my life to add to that. But, like, I didn't boil myself down to just depressed person. But just because I was in a season of life where I couldn't be, that's what I'm trying to say. I was in a season of life where I couldn't be this happy person that they wanted me to be, because I usually was. I'm the one that's like, I love everybody, and let's party, and let's have fun, and da-da-da-da. And because I was in a season where I couldn't be that person anymore, for, like, a multitude of reasons, they kind of threw me away. And so it's like, is that love? Is that someone who really cares about you? Is that, you know what I'm saying? No, love is like, when you are of no, not value, that's not the word I'm looking for. When you are not immediately, like, benefiting me, you know what I'm saying? Like, I still love you. I still care for you. And I feel like for some people, they don't get it. They don't understand what that kind of love looks like. And so for me to expect that love from them really doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. Marquita says it sounds like an abusive relationship. I felt like I was in an abusive relationship. I sure enough did. And Marquita, you know. Crystal says, and your stuff matters. It's real and relatable. Others like me can see that they're not alone. I appreciate that. Thank you for sharing that with me. Thank you for that, seriously. Because when I made that project, I didn't think anybody was gonna, like, I was trying to push it out, but I didn't think anybody was really gonna listen to it, because who wants to listen to sad songs? Who wants to read, like, sad words? Who wants to do that, right? And so, but what I found is, like, people understood what I was trying to say, which was, like, that was huge for me, because I wasn't talking about romantic relationships. I wasn't talking about, a guy that broke my heart. I was talking about women. I was talking about women in my life that I made space for, that threw me away and tore me apart. And another line of that song says, I ripped myself to pieces. You can have whatever you like. Like, really, I felt like I was fracturing myself off and trying to, like, give them the best parts of me, or the parts that they liked better. Because I was trying to give them the parts that they liked better. And it was painful to me, but they enjoyed that, right? They enjoyed that. They were happy, but I was miserable because I would have to hide how I really felt. I would have to hide what I really wanted to say. I couldn't say all that I wanted to say for fear of people cussing me out, or, you know what I'm saying, wishing death on me, like, literally, like, in real life. And so, That's not love. If you have to break yourself into pieces for someone to love you, like, and I'm not talking about surface relationships, right? Because, you're not just going to give all of yourself to a person you just met. But at the same time, the deep relationships that have taken years to form, you trust them with that. You trust them with every part of you. You know what I'm saying? Because you've seen every part of them, and you've accepted them, you've loved them, you've cherished them. And so again, when somebody fractures pieces of yourself off and deems the rest unworthy, that's a red flag. Like, that's a red flag. So I had this artwork that I could, market and put out there. People were resonating with it. Like, it made me so happy. And it was cathartic for me. You know what I mean? Like, it felt good for me to just get it off my chest, to get it on I was gonna say wax, but it's not wax, but you know what I mean? Like, to record it and to put it out. Like, that felt cathartic. That felt like therapy to me. And so for a while I was like, dang, do I need horrible experiences, like, to make me creative? And what you'll find, I feel like, is some artists, some of our most tortured artists, right? They feel like they have to go through a torturous experience to create great art. Like, they feel like, oh, I gotta, drink myself to death, or I have to do drugs and put myself in predicaments that aren't the best for me, and all this stuff. Like, you'll see it. A lot of artists have drank themselves to death, drugged themselves to death for, a myriad of reasons. But some people believe that suffering brings the greatest art out. And so maybe that's true. But I've been wrestling with this thought of, do I really need unnecessary suffering just to create good art? And even though I put out that, that EP and that poetry, that was like one piece of art, right? But beyond that, I was not doing anything because, I was paralyzed with, like, pain and heartbreak and all that stuff. And I wasn't being consistent. I didn't feel like getting up, and I didn't feel like going to counseling. I didn't feel like going to therapy. I didn't feel like, doing anything. The words of the people who I thought loved me haunted me for life. Like, one of the friends I was friends with, she was like, you're going to be in a psych ward right next to me. And, really insulting me because of my mental illness. And those words rung in my head. And I was like, maybe I am crazy. Maybe if I cry, y'all, it's okay. I cry almost every day. And crying is healthy. But it's like, I've never been one to want to tear people down. That's just not the person I am. Even when people are, like, going in on me, I'm like, okay. Like, even though it hurts my feelings, I'm not going to be like, I'm not going to go back and forth with you about stuff that's not true, or like, but the people that I'm dealing with, like, they were just, like, horrible. Like, talking about me, saying, one person told me nobody would want me because my dad left me. Like, yo, like, when I tell you they were on another level, okay? My marriage wouldn't work out because not even my dad wanted me. Like, that's what people told me. And, no, that's not, I know that's not true. Like, clearly I'm married, right? But at the same time, these are friends who have, like, the codes. You know what I'm saying? Like, they know how the meat's made, or, like, the sausage is made. And so they know how to say stuff that gets under your skin, because that is something I've dealt with. Like, the feeling of abandonment, the feeling of, your dad, abandoning you. That was a very real thing for me. And so for them to use something so personal to kind of stab me in the back was like, yo. So, Marquita says, and did all this in the name of sisterhood, and worse, in the name of Jesus. That part, Marquita, okay? Like, abusing someone, like, the scripture literally says he's close to the brokenhearted, right? It literally says, what you do to the least of these, you do to me. And so there's so many things that I could say, right? But it's like at the end of the day, like how my husband says, like, you have your reward. Like, I don't, and in the moment, yes, like I'd be wanting to say like, oh, I should have said this, I should have done that, I should have, I could have, and I could have, right? But then what? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they weren't at the same level. And then at the same time, I have to believe that God sees me. He sees what's happening. And for a while, it felt like he didn't see me. I felt like, yo, I'm just a punching bag down here. Like, this can't be what you created me for. You know what I'm saying? And we're going kind of deep, but we weren't supposed to talk about this, but that's okay. Like, I really was like, I feel like my mission here on earth is to be God's punching bag. Like, I sincerely believe that because of how badly people were treating me. And now that it's like a few years, I guess, distance between that, while it still hurts and it still is something I mourn, it's still, I can still look at them with sympathy. I feel sorry for them. I sincerely do. Like, yes, I'm mad that like they had to take out that stuff on me, and I'm upset that we're not friends and it hurts, but like, I really feel sorry for you because you don't know what I know. You know what I'm saying? You don't know the love that I showed you, and you couldn't receive it because you don't know what that love is. You know what I'm saying? And so even in these people, I felt like, even in these people hurting me, I felt like I had to show them that love. I had to be there, like, to be like, no, let me love you, right? But at some point it gets toxic. At some point it does get abusive, right? They take advantage. They do the stuff because they know that you're going to be there. And even though as painful as it was when my friends, I had to initiate. I had to be like, we're through. And I had to keep that promise to myself and to her. Like, we're done. Because you for the last time have disrespected me. You for the last time have broken my heart. And I can't keep putting myself in a situation like this, because if I allow them to break my heart, I'm going to be of no good to nobody else. You see what I'm saying? I'm going to be of no good to myself, no good to my God. Like, God didn't put me here to be somebody's punching bag. You know what I'm saying? And I know that on this point, and I knew it in my heart then, but I was questioning it, to be fair. Like, because I'm just like, Jesus, these are people that you put in my life. These are people that claim to love you. And this is something that I think we should really consider. And I'm on a tangent. How we treat people reflects how people think about God and thinks about Jesus. Because I'm trying to tell you, I'm like, at that time, I'm like, God, these people claim to love you. They seem like they're prospering. They seem like they're doing well and all this stuff. And I was really thinking about, like, you know what, forget you, God. Like, forget you. I'm loving these people like you told me to love them, and they treat me like this. And low-key, you have to, of course, they always tell you, well, Jesus, went through. Well, I'm not Jesus. Like, that's how I felt. Like, I'm not him. I'm not Jesus. I would read all the scripture about how God would protect and he would avenge and like all this stuff. And none of that stuff was happening. None of it was happening. And I'm just like, God, where are you coming through at on your word? I'm not retaliating. I'm trusting you with it. Right. But at the time also, like, now I'm looking back, like, maybe he'll pay them back and I'll never see. And maybe it's not for me to see. Right. But I told my friend Marquita recently, I was like, in situations where people played me and hurt me, I don't have no guilt. I don't have any anxiety. I don't have anything to apologize for because I didn't retaliate, because I didn't say what I could have said. I didn't do what I could have done where would have been in my right to do, right? And because of that, because I really feel like in the moment God really does shut my mouth. Like, I really feel like, because afterwards I'm like having arguments in the shower, like, oh, I should have said this, And I'm grateful that God shut my mouth in that moment, that he caught my tongue, because I'd be apologizing. I'd be repenting. I'd be like, oh, I'm so sorry. I did this and da-da-da. I don't have no guilt. None. Like, all of that is on them. And whatever they want to do with that, like, that's on them. So, I mean, as far as I can see, that's the only benefit that from that situation. But like, I can walk away from that moment and know that I did no one any harm. And can they say the same? No. And again, God will deal with them when they want to deal with them. But yeah, but definitely my whole point in this is be careful how you treat people, because it does, especially as Christians, if you are a Christian, if you are an unbeliever, you have the power to turn people away from God himself. And I know that you say, well, I can't make them. You can influence them. You know what I'm saying? You want to talk about you a light. You want to talk about you're the salt of the earth. You want to talk about your conduit, like, you know what I'm saying? Or like you want to co-create with God. You can also be a part of someone's destruction and demise. You can turn them away from God because of how horribly you treat them. And so again, because of what happened with them, that's how I felt. Like I was like, okay, God, I'm not here to play with you. And it was in the name of Jesus. In Jesus' name, I offend you. In Jesus' name, I stab you in the back, right? And they own that, and they truly believe that. Anyway, but Marquise said, wow, how will they answer for it on Judgment Day? That's the question. I'll have other things I have to answer to. Like, I'm not perfect, but that's one thing I won't have to answer to, and I'm grateful for that. But yeah, that's between them and God. Hi, Prince J. Jasmine says, right, passion creates good art. Sometimes we only equate suffering to passion. Yeah, exactly. Marcus says, cause you bigger than that. Yes. Thank God that I'm bigger than that, okay? Because I don't know, I really feel like there are a lot of times I've been punked. I've been dragged through the mud. I ain't got the quickest thing to return with, but like I really feel like in some instances God's just like, nope, you can't talk. So glory to God. Hi, Angela. Hi. That's my cousin. Jasmine says, touch not God's anointed and do my prophets no harm. Yes. They'll answer for it. Yes. And I imagine that they have to answer even more because you are a believer and because you do know better. You know what I'm saying? And that's dangerous. And and that's the thing. I have compassion for them. I don't want something horrible to happen to them because of what they did to me. I don't want that. Literally all I wanted was reconciliation. That's it. Like, or an apology or whatever, but you can't make people do stuff. And even in showing, like I would come to them, there's some people who are just dead set on fighting and arguing. I'm not for it. I don't have time. I don't have the energy. I don't want to argue for the sake of arguing. I'm not going to argue about stupid stuff. You can call me out my name. You can call me ugly. You can call me crazy, whatever. Like, can we get to the point? And people who can't get to the point, avoid it for a reason because they don't have no point. You know what I'm saying? And so anyway, I just want a reconciliation, but there's a scripture that says for every, what is it? Every idle word? No, every word you have to answer to. And it's a word before that. But like literally every word that you speak, you have to answer to. And say less, right? Netta says, that's true. Late to the party. Hi. But I completely agree. And like, that's my life. Yes, I feel you. I feel you. All right. So after all that, I made this art. And, I thought for a long time, number one, because of what I went through in my life, I felt like I had to endure hard relationships. Like, I feel like that's a narrative we believe, honestly, like telling the men out there as women, but then also as black women and then as Christian black women. Like, I feel like there's this narrative that's told, and even in Christian black men, like the more you suffer, the more holy you are, or whatever it is. And it's like this like competition with like, how holy can you be? How much suffering can you endure? And I really don't think, like, yeah, we're going to suffer. I mean, God promises that, right? But I really don't think he put us down here for the sake of like, God, look at how much I'm suffering. You know what I'm saying? It's like, no, you'll naturally suffer. But I feel like some things we have the opportunity to remove ourselves from. Like, I was off mission. I'm off base because I'm worried about trying to, these people, trying to win them over. One, just to end the beef between us, but also to God. Because I'm like, you're in error. Like, you're in sin. You talking to me crazy. Girl. You got to answer for that. And so, but yeah, that wasn't my mission. That's not my job, And so I love you. And that's the thing. I do love these people. I don't know who they are now. But the people back then, I did love. That love didn't stop just because like, oh, we have an argument, because that's not what love does. But I love them enough, but also love myself enough to remove myself from the situation. And it took me a long time to be able to reconcile with that. Because I'm like, well, should I reach out to them? Should I seek, reconciliation again? Should I, subject myself to be torn up again? Like, because I'm a Christian and that's what Christians do. And people had to talk me off the ledge so many times. So many times. And I just felt bad. Like, I'm like, well, we did have a relationship. What we had. And like, people were like, what you had, it's not there no more. Like, it doesn't exist. But what I found in having quality friends, like the ones who are here and, ones that are not here, is that when I'm healthier, I create better art. I create, and it's not even like one work of art. Like, it's like this art. Like, this is amazing. I'm more productive because I can actually get out of bed. I'm more open to things because I'm not as fragile. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm more willing to get on here and embarrass myself and it's not turn out exactly how I want to turn out because I'm not questioning my self-worth today. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't really realize how having bad friends in our I don't know, lives, how having bad friends in our lives really is destructive. It's really destructive. What is it? Bad company corrupts good character. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. But like, you know, maybe it doesn't necessarily mean that you're gonna be in the street, you know, wilding. Maybe that means you'll be in your home, like berating yourself. Maybe it means you'll be not being of any good to anybody else because, you know, and there's grace and there's time for mourning and there's time for healing and all that stuff, right? But I feel like we can, by the company we keep, sabotage ourselves, sabotage our happiness and our peace. And but then there's like a fine line too, because everybody loves calling stuff toxic. They love it. Like, they cannot. That's toxic. It's like, just because it's hard doesn't mean it's toxic. That's not how that works. Some stuff in relationships is just hard. But again, if you feel like you're being like literally abused verbally, if people calling you crazy and wishing death on you and stuff, and like, that's crazy. That's abuse. Like, that's toxic. And because like I said, every relationship goes through ups and downs. Every relationship, you be like, I don't know, girl. You know? But it, you know, for some people it's just like different life experiences, but some people know better. But the point is, you know, bad relationships can really ruin your life. And you have to fight for your life. No one else is going to fight for it. And I had friends like tell me, stop hanging out with them. But no, Jesus. And people literally had to remind me, like, Jesus does not want me to suffer like this. That's not in his will. Netta says, but all that anger is rooted in a deeper trauma that each person has a responsibility to work through on their own. You hit it on the head. Like, you can be empathetic and compassionate without tearing yourself down. You can be understanding. And I feel like for me, I had to learn that. You hit it on the head. Like, it's definitely, I think the plight of some Christians, like feeling like I have to save everybody. I got to fix everybody. I got to fix everything. I got to save the world, you know? And we really have to leave room for God to fix them, you know? And sometimes we enable them to be these people that they don't need to be anymore. We enable them to be nasty. We enable them to be unrelenting when it comes to like the things that they say about you. We enable them to be, and I'm not saying it's your fault because it's not your fault, right? But we provide space for them to just keep kind of doing it anyway. Like, these friends that I'm talking about, like, there were signs that they didn't mean me well all along. Like, being cussed out, being like, you know, situations that happened where they just kind of left me in the dust, but I didn't pay attention to those things because I'm like, oh, well, is this normal? Like, is this normal? And I think back to the friendships I had in elementary school and middle school, more middle school on. And again, the people I hang out with, the sisters I hang out with, you know, in Christ, like, they don't ever treat me like that. And if there is an issue, there's maturity to be able to bring up situations without having to tear the other person down. You know what I'm saying? But I agree with you. People are traumatized, and I feel empathy for that, but I'm just getting to the point where I'm like, it's not my job to fix it because I can't. I'm not Jesus. I can't fix it. I cannot fix it. And for a long time, I felt like a catalyst. I felt like people will come to me, get what they need, and leave. Romantically, friendship-wise, like, and I'm in the way. Like, it could be pride, maybe. I don't know. I'm thinking of it like in real time. So like, maybe that's God trying to show me pride. You can't fix people, sis. Get out the way. You ain't me, you know? So for sure. Jasmine said that part. Angela says, many people take pride in wearing that suffering badge. They do. And you know what? I'm not interested anymore. I'm not interested. I'm not. Like, I want to live a full, joyous, as much as I can, joyous life. I'm not interested in suffering for the sake of suffering. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people want to play this game of like, well, I endured, girl, but you don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. And I feel like sometimes people feel like they have to, especially in the church. And again, Black women, because it's like, again, like it's worn as a badge of honor. It's like, look how much this person suffered. We should reward them. And it's like, you're worthy of the reward. You're worthy now. You're worthy today. You feel me? And you're worthy of joy now. And you don't have to suffer and kill yourself just to experience it. Like, you don't have to do that. And like, that's something we have to unlearn. But church culture definitely teaches you, like, not all church culture, but some of it. You know, suffer and pray, and give all of everything to this thing, to this building, to this ministry, whatever, and God will reward you. It's like, or like you can be, I feel like God can use us in our joy. Why can't God do that? Why we gotta kill ourselves before God can use us? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. That's just my own opinion. I have thoughts that I haven't thought out completely, and I don't want to say anything that's like misleading and or wrong. So I'm gonna chew on that for a little bit. But yes, I agree. Jamal says, Matthew 12:36, and I tell you this, you must give an account on Judgment Day. Thank you for every idle word you speak. Thank you, Jamal. Yes, that's exactly the scripture I'm talking about. So mind your words. That's what I be like, and when I can't mind them, I feel like God minds them for me. And Marcus said, fix it, Jesus. Let him do it. Absolutely. I've definitely given them over to him. And it's in love. It's not like, oh, I'm throwing them away. It's just like, I literally can't do anything for you. Literally one of the friends, while she was berating me, like literally tearing me down, I was like, it's clear that you have other things going on that have nothing to do with me, and I can't fix it for you. Like, there's nothing I can do for you. So like, let's just end this right now. Angel says, yes, yes, yes. So all in all, I think we should take an audit of our friends. I'm not saying that, I know a lot of people do this thing that like, oh, I'm going through a cleansing list on my timeline. And I'm like, okay, but in real life, like, I feel like we should take an audit of who we lit in our lives, of who we lit, not just in our life, but who we lit in those sacred places. You know what I'm saying? The heart. There's scriptures about hearts. It sounds crazy. But there's scriptures about, protecting your heart and how it's the wellspring of life and all this stuff. And we're like, well, what does that mean? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is that? How do I do that? And I really feel like that's one way you can. If you know this person is going through their own stuff, if you know this person doesn't mean you anything but harm, it might be in their best interest and yours to just let God handle it. Let God do it. And Angela, I love what you said. Like, I'm just not interested in suffering anymore. Like, more than I have to, right? Because again, God calls us to suffer. Like, he said this life would be hard. He promised that, you know what I mean? But subjecting myself to more suffering to endure, you can take me off. You can take me off. And I'm about to go into another thing, but like, again, we talked about hustle culture before. I'm just going to say it again. I'm not interested in hustle culture for that reason. It's like, I don't want to play the game of like, who can work the hardest? Who can do the most without taking them, like the attendance award at work? It's like, okay, so you didn't take a vacation. Like, you deserve a vacation, right? Like, if they give me days, I'm going to use them. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like for some people, like, they feel like they're better than other people because they endure suffering that other people choose not to. And I'm like, no. In a class, if this is on the syllabus, if I did what's on the syllabus, and I'm not saying you should just slack off, I'm done. I did what I'm not gonna, and my husband had to calm me down recently because when I was in high school, my senior year, I was really like dead set on getting 4.0s. And like, I was in a AP course. And so I wanted to get the 4.18, and I got it a couple of semesters, but like, I was like, going all in just to get that award because that felt good. And so I recently like enrolled in college courses, and I felt myself slipping back into that, like being an overachiever, just doing too much. just doing the most. And my husband had to pull me in like, your overachiever is showing. Can you calm down? Like, first of all, it's for a certificate. And I'm not saying you shouldn't do things well. You should do things well, right? But I was like obsessing over it because I'm like, no, I wanted them to know that I worked so hard on this thing. And then like the semester ends and they don't think about you ever again. You know what I mean? And really what I was really looking for, if I'm just being honest, was approval. That's all I wanted. I was just looking for approval from them. I wanted them to like me. And I felt myself becoming 18 all over again, or 17 or whatever age I was, getting those grades. You know, I felt myself. That's why I don't like school, y'all. I don't like grades, I should say. And I get it, grades are important, but I really feel like they stress people out. Like their whole like life is riding on these grades. But anyway, so I felt myself going into like this 18-year-old self, and I'm like, I'm not interested in this anymore. I don't want to have my worth questioned. And I'm not busting my behind for these teachers who, again, don't care nothing about me, who will go home to their family and eat dinner and not, while I'm at dinner, thinking about like, oh God, like, what I get on my essay? They're not thinking about me. They don't care about me. And all teachers are not like that, clearly. But like for my experience in college, that's how it's been. And again, what does it really matter? What does it really mean? And I'm just giving this example because like, I think in a lot of ways, I'm just reconsidering why I do the things I do and like, if I should anymore. I'm rapping, but y'all get what I'm saying. Barbara says, hi from Tennessee. Hi, Barbara. Had to let a friend go. Seems backstabbing at its worst, though she was a friend. I'm so sorry about that. I'm really sorry. Cause yeah, I sigh, not because it's just so heavy and it's hard. And I really am sorry about that. And I wish like people who experience this, I wish I can just like give them little hugs and stuff because there ain't no heartbreak like it. I promise. Netta says, you're barking up my tree now. I don't mean to. I don't. But I'm not interested in playing the hard life Olympics. I'm just not. Life is hard already. And I don't want to, I feel like I'm like a, rebel in a lot of ways, in some ways. My husband says I am. Like, I'm just anti for the sake of being anti sometimes. But for real, like, what is the point of all this? You know what I'm saying? Why do we have the plus minus system in college? Because you want to keep me there longer to get more money. Let's be real. But anyway, yeah. So, yeah, I really feel like if we're really considering letting things go in 2021, which I feel like we always should at the beginning of the year, consider what to let go. Consider dead relationships. And you ain't got to cuss them out. You ain't got to like, tell them off or nothing like that. You can literally just say like, this relationship isn't serving me anymore, like to yourself, and then let them know. Don't just ghost them, right? Because I feel like that's crazy. But that's crazy painful, I should say. And whatever, I said what I said. And so I really feel like we should reconsider the company that we keep because it really does get in the way of us living our best life. Like even affecting our other relationships. So some friends are here that I hang out with like on a pretty regular basis. And I couldn't even be present in those relationships. And they made space for my pain. Let me be clear, right? Like I saw clearly the difference between friends that didn't know how to love and I say that loosely, but like friends who hurt me versus the friends who made space for me, and people who made space for me who I didn't even know like that, right? Who didn't make me feel crazy. And I'm like, wow, so maybe I'm not crazy. And so they made space for me to be honest. But I know that in a lot of ways I couldn't show up for them 100% because I was too burdened by the other relationship going on over here. And while I was trying to juggle those two things, I had one group of friends telling me they love me, I'm worthy, they held me down. Like they were angry with me with the stuff was happening, right? Like, and again, these are multiple group of friends, to be fair. And like they never made me had to feel like I had to apologize for being angry or being depressed or like whatever. And so I'm like, this is friendship. This is real. You know what I'm saying? And I'm so grateful for those people. You know who you are. Because I needed that reminder. I needed to be reminded of who I was, minus what they're saying about me. because you can lose yourself. You can lose the definition of yourself and other people if you let them. And you have to have real people around you who are grounded and who love you not because of what you can do for them, but because of who you are. And especially in creativity, you're not going to create nothing if you don't feel worthy. You're not going to make anything if you don't feel like what you have to say is valuable. And these people made me feel like I had no value. And so I wouldn't make anything because I'd be like, oh, what if I post this and this person has something negative to say? I can't take another heart blow, right? And they were literally controlling my creative output. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, like I put out the project matter, and one of the people in that group was like, yeah, I listened to your EP and no one's gonna listen to it. It's trash or whatever. However she said it. That's basically the way that the message that was supposed to be sent was like, we heard your EP, we know it's about us, and we think it's garbage. And I'm like, but you listen though. Like, first, this person was blocked. Like, I'm so confused, right? You went out of your way to listen, and you heard the words, and you knew it was about you because I never said it was about you, right? And so in that moment, I'm like, isn't this silly? Isn't this silly? Like, we're going to grade school like name calling at this point. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just not one to do that. I'm not one to like, I'm not going to come for someone's, and the reason why she did that was because she was trying to hurt my feelings, because she knows that I'm very sensitive. All artists are very sensitive about their stuff. Ooh, I'm liking how that's looking. Like that already. Very sensitive about my stuff. And she wanted me to know that, she saw it and she didn't think it was worthy. She didn't think it was good. What y'all think? I like that. Oh, y'all talking. Sorry. Winged Wolf 500 says, looking at the past with a new set of eyes. Yeah. It is interesting. I see your second comment. It is interesting. Verse Escape, playing devil's advocate. What's that? Tell me what your devil's advocate is. Crystal says, yes, I thought I had to just endure. I deserve good friends. I don't have to accept foolishness. Yes, you deserve good things. All of you all deserve good things. Deserve good things. She's like, that's way too toxic. It is like, you going out your way. Like this person, I blocked them everywhere. Had to find me on GroupMe to send me hateful messages. I'm just like, girl, I ain't got the energy. And yeah. So, but yes, you deserve good things. And I know that people can make you feel like you don't. They can make you feel like they have that power to make you feel like, and I know that people say, sticks and stones may hurt you. What was it? I messed it up already. Sticks and stones may break your bones, or words may never hurt you. That's a lie. That's a lie. I'm so sick and tired of people acting like they don't care about what people think about them, especially people who love them. Like, you ain't got to act hard. You ain't got to act tough. It hurts. It sucks. And words mean things. Like, they mean things. They come from the heart. Like, they literally come from the heart. And I think it's okay to mourn relationships. I think it's okay. But at the same time, you got to survive, sis. Trauma, it works on the body too. You know what I mean? Like, one of my worries is like, I've seen people get sick because of them being stressed out. I've seen people develop ailments because they're tired, because they carry too much, because they're burdened. And I'll be doggone if somebody takes me up out of here earlier than when I'm supposed to go because of what they said. And while what they say hurts me, I don't have to be around them. That's how I survive, right? That's how I move on. Like, not acting like it don't matter and what they say. No, like I said, it did matter and it did hurt, right? But like, even as it hurts, I'm gonna back away. I'm gonna get under God, and I'm gonna get under friends who actually really do care about me, because they've seen me in all like seasons. They've seen me in all seasons, and they still choose to love me when they ain't gotta. They don't owe me nothing, and they still choose to be here. And I think that's really good, Crystal. Like, you deserve good things. You really do. I'm gonna cry. You deserve good things. You deserve to be treated well. You know? And yeah, that's basically like the story behind Matter. But again, my overall point is you don't need horrible suffering to come up with great art. Again, this is the most creative I've been in a while. Just showing up, just doing a thing. And I don't feel heartbroken today. Praise God. When I tell y'all, I thought I was going to die. I know that sounds really dramatic, but I thought I was going to die. Like, that's how heartbroken I was. And it was just stuff on top of other stuff on top of other stuff. And then it triggers past traumas. And then you're like in this tailspin. And I think that's what they wanted me to do. They wanted, in my heart, I know, and I'm gonna say this. In my heart, I know that these people wanted me to be at my worst. I know that because it's like the kiss of death. Like, what can I say to like end her? You know what I'm saying? And they said that. And I really thought like I would die. I know that sounds crazy, but I was like, God, I'll never not know this pain. And anyone who struggles with depression, like, you can understand how hopeless you feel, how helpless you feel, how like burdensome you feel. Like, you feel like you're a burden to everybody. You feel like nothing you do matters. You feel like sometimes you feel nothing, which is sometimes worse than feeling sad. And for me, they were reinforcing those feelings. And so like I thought I would die. Like, I didn't want to do anything. I would put myself in these predicaments that were like get me in trouble, like just for the sake of feeling something. You know what I mean? That's what depression will do to you. Like, and some people, the way that they express it is different, you know, of course, but like to feel anything. And so when this came like as a blow on top of me having a depressive episode, oh, we all hate you. We all like, and again, the friend that was like, you shouldn't need counseling because God is your counselor, that type of stuff, which I don't agree with, y'all. Go get counseling. There's like, get counseling and get Jesus, right? You can have both. He literally says, seek wise counsel. He literally says like, you know, like literally telling you get counseling, and what that looks like might look different. Like, yes, therapy is for everybody, but not everybody has the resources to go to therapy. Talk to a friend, talk to somebody who's older, who has more wisdom, like, but get help, and there's no shame in getting help. None. There's no shame. That's why he put us here in community. So if you don't get anything else from this talk, please get that from this talk. There's no shame in talking to anybody about anything. You know what I'm saying? And again, that's what we're here for. So anywho, like the same person that came to me and told me that that God was not pleased with me because I was depressed is the one who also said like, we all talked and we all don't like you. Like, she was talking for everybody in the group. And I'm like, wow, so y'all just sit around and instead of saying, hey, you know, she's depressed. How can we like be of help in this moment? Even if it is like, hey, here's some resources for some therapy, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Something, you know what I mean? Like, and I told her like, I wasn't expecting you all to fix me. Like, I'm sorry if I gave that off. Like, you can't fix me. And yeah, like, and eventually the same friend later on was like, yeah, if there's anything serious that happens in your life, don't tell me. I just want to be around for like your parties and stuff. And I'm like literally said this to me. Literally, you felt like it was appropriate to say this to me. And I was just like, wait, what? Girl, you're not invited to nothing, sis. But the whole point is these are the grade of people I'm talking about. Like, and if people are making you feel that way, that you have to fraction yourself off, that you're not worthy of love and respect, it's time to go, sis. Or bro. I know there are men here. It's time to go. And it's not because you don't love them. It's not because you won't miss them or whatever. It's because your life literally your life depends on it. Because again, when I got that blow from them, I didn't want to live no more. I was in such a fragile state. And that could have ended me. And by the grace of God, it didn't. Like, I reached out to a sister. And she called my husband. And he came home. Because I just was not feeling it, y'all. I was like, if this is what my life is, my life has been suffering for so long. If this is what it's supposed to be, I don't want to live no more. I'm not interested. I literally was feeling that way. And when I reached out to a sister and told her that, not the one who called my husband, but somebody else, she screenshot my messages and sent them to the group of friends. And they all made fun of me. So I just wonder, like, oh, sorry, y'all are talking. Angela says, how much do I owe you for this therapy session? LOL, that's funny, girl. This is therapy for me, okay? For me too. First Escape says, playing devil's advocate, as you mentioned, disagreeing to disagree or discuss all perspectives. Yes. Okay, got you. I'm clear. Thank you. Barbara says, you have too many people in your corner to allow one monkey to totally stop you. Thank you, Barbara. I appreciate that. That's sweet. Netta says, yep. Depression is a silent killer. It definitely is. Literally, it's a silent killer. It really is. Like, there are people who you never know. Like, first of all, you should just be nice just to be nice. Like, what is it paying you to be nice to somebody, right? Depression don't look the same, y'all. People will smile on your face today, be gone tomorrow, and then people be like, what happened? You know what I'm saying? Like, what happened? We were just talking on the phone. He seemed fine or she seemed fine. This stuff happens all the time. Depression does not look the same. And I feel like we're getting in a better place to, like, start accepting, or not even accepting, but making space and room for mental health issues. I feel like we still have a long way to go. But I definitely am grateful that we're starting making the steps, because if people don't feel safe enough to tell you that they feel, they're not going to tell you. And so if they feel like they're expected to, like in my case, for example, because I can only speak from my own experience, but if you're expecting them to be happy all the time and you crap on them whenever they're not happy, they're not going to tell you when they're not happy. They're not going to tell you, like, because they're not safe. But then also there's a lot of shame around mental health too. Like, oh, I don't want to go to counseling. Counseling's for crazy people, you know? As a sister who, you know, was trying to hurt my feelings, said, you're going to be in a psych ward, bouncing off the walls. Like, just evil. Just making you feel crazy. And I'm like, girl, what? But yes, depression is definitely a silent killer. And it kills slowly. Like, it kills your hope, like, to live, like your want to live. It kills your taste for things. It kills, like, it's almost like it turns everything gray, right? And then at some point you look around and it's, what's the point? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's the point? And I know, like, for some people, this, I should trigger warning. Sorry, y'all, it's a little late. But yeah, like, I literally, these colors are here for a reason, but I literally was like, I don't want to live no more. Again, if this is it, God, forgot to turn this on. If this is all it is, if this is all you got for me, I am not interested. You can take me right on back. You know, I joke, but I'm not joking. Like, you can take me right back to, you know, I don't know, where I was before this, and or just, I'd be at peace. You know what I'm saying? At least I'd be at peace if I were not here anymore. At least I wouldn't be a burden to anybody else if I wasn't here anymore. I like that. I actually really like that a lot. I really like that a lot. So this is the first part of the piece I'm working on. I'll probably work on it on a different night, the second part. But I just wanted to, like, show hands, much like the picture, show hands reaching out into the, where's it at? Reaching out of the blackness. And then the other idea, let's see, is to have these hands kind of reaching out towards it, like to pick them up out of the darkness. And, but on the sides, where is that at? Here it is. But on the sides, like, you got people blocking the way and kind of taking captive the hands that are reaching up. But it's just an idea. We'll get to it at some point. But I think this is a good start. I gotta save this. Because, you know, Adobe likes to crash. So if anybody works with Adobe out there. Verse Escape said, well said, Barbara. I agree. Well said. And this is what she said. I appreciate that. That really means a lot to me. Seriously, it means a lot to me. Crystal said, I love that. It's beautiful. Thank you, Crystal. Yes, I like that a lot too. And what I do sometimes is just like, I'll share what I'm doing here. And then like after this finishes, then I finish and then I keep working on it because I'm just like inspired. And so I actually want to show y'all what we made last time. So let me save this first. Save. What's today's date? Jan 1121. All right, so now that we got that saved. Oh, no, it wasn't. All right. I'm gonna show you what we made. Angela says, can't wait to see the finished work. Thank you. I'm excited. I'm happy. Thank you. But yeah, let me show you what we made from our last time together. So let me remove. So I was working on this after we got finished. But yeah, I hope that you all are in healthy relationships. And if you're not, there's no shame that you're not. It takes work. It takes time. It takes time. It takes time to really just like kind of break yourself to be free of those relationships. It takes time to recognize that they're toxic, right? That they're not good enough. But you'll feel it. You'll feel it draining you. And if you're not brave enough to like, if you're not brave enough, if you're not at that point where you feel like you can, that's okay too. Because literally it is like an abusive relationship. It honestly is. Oh, yay. Okay. So it's working. I was afraid it was going to freeze because last time it froze that I wanted to show y'all something. So that's the thing we worked on last time. We started this and I was drawing it and something was wrong with my the pad. Like it wasn't recognizing what I was doing. But anyway, so this is the finished product. I like it. I like it a lot. It was fun. So I think what I want to do is I want to start making like cards and just like give them to people, like just like postcards or something, like something you can send on the mail, and then people can write stuff on the back if they want to write stuff. That's my goal. Because again, this year my word is create, and a big part of what I want to create is just like giving stuff and like putting myself out there and being brave enough to be seen. And so yeah, so I know this is just small, but my obsession right now is like black women, and like black women of all sizes, all colors, like all looks, all that stuff. So yeah, but that's what we made last time. Let's see. All right, y'all. So overall, let's wrap this up, right? So while heartbreak is great inspiration for art, while hard times and pain and struggle is great inspiration for art and great passion and drive to create something, I really feel like what's more important is that you're healthy in the long run, that you're healthy longer, that you're not being weighed down by horrible relationships. Because the thing is, you hear the stuff that your friends are saying, you hear the stuff that people around you are saying, and you believe it. You take it in. Like it might not feel like it at first. Like at first you might feel like, oh, I'm good. I think I'm good. But eventually your self-esteem will suffer. Your relating to other people will suffer. All that good stuff. And so it's imperative for creatives and people in general. Like I always say that everyone's creative, whether you create lesson plans, spreadsheets, children, like it doesn't matter. We're all creative. But I really feel like our lives suffer so much when we don't have the right community around us, when we don't have the right people around us. And you gotta fight for yourself. You gotta fight for your sanity. You gotta fight for your sanity first. And then beyond that, you have to be okay with experiencing joy. And you have to be, like Crystal said, be okay with experiencing good things, because you deserve good quality things. You deserve that. I don't care what nobody said to you. You deserve all that. So that's all I have for you guys today. Again, next time we come up, I'll start the second part, and until this thing gets finished. And then if you want, I can send it to you and share it to you. It's up to you. But until next time, you guys, I hope that you have a wonderful evening. I hope that you have a wonderful week. I'll be back here tomorrow to do music. And wait, Angela says, can't wait to see the finished work. And then you said, I'm having terrible creative block, so this is inspiring. Oh yeah, that makes me happy. Thanks for being here and being inspired. That means a lot to me. So shout out to you, Angela, Crystal, Verse Escape, Netta, Barbara, Crystal again, Winged Wolf 500, Marcus, Jamile or Jay, Jasmine, Marcus again, Prince J, Marquita, Vanessa, Deborah. All right, guys. Thanks you guys for also engaging with me and talking to me. It means a lot to me. It means so much. But again, hope y'all have a wonderful evening. Hope y'all have a wonderful rest of the week. And I'll see some of you all tomorrow. And if not, still have a great week. Talk to you later. Bye. Oh, yay. Thanks, Marcus. And Barbara says, thanks. Alecia, sometimes you have to recognize some things as the... Oh, I wish I could see the end of that. Some things as the I'm sorry. You can still comment on it after the video is done. It's no problem. But yeah, I'm glad you like it, Marcus. But yes, y'all, take care of yourselves, take care of your friends, make sure you're a safe place and seek safe places for yourself, okay? But until tomorrow, I will talk to y'all later. Bye. Love you all. Bye.